Hey, welcome to Embracing Expansion. I am Finesse, and today we're doing Worthy Reads. Guys, this is going to be my final, edition or segment on Worthy Reads for a while because I've only read limited books, and I think so far we've done Worthy Reads on about nine books. Today, however, the book that I want to talk about is not one that I have in my possession anymore. I think I may have misplaced it and I may have to order it. I tend to give stuff away, so I probably gave it away, but I can't remember to who, and that's fine. I will just have to reorder it. But I do have a summary of it in one of my very first summary books. Yes, I got it at Marshall's, and I read this book in 2016, about September 4th. Thereabout. That's the date when I started reading it, and it is The Way of the Peace Warrior by Dan Millman. Okay, this book speaks about or highlights and expands on the three types of selves that each human being possesses or operates from or can operate from. Okay, and it does it in a very beautiful way because there's an actual storyline to it that teaches you those things, that teaches you the definition of those things, of those three selves, how they operate, how they complement each other, how they help to keep you as an individual balanced, right? So I'm going to give you an idea. Unfortunately, usually we have a back of a book to read, but I don't have that because I don't have the actual book. However, I will put the link of that book in the description like I usually do on your Worthy Reads video, okay? On this video. So I'm going to just first let you know what the three selves are. The three selves are your basic self, or what we call the inner child, your conscious self, your ego, synonymous to your ego, and your higher self, which is like spiritual consciousness or your guardian angel, or what some of us refer to as, like your intuition or the tiny voice in your head. And I want to just give you a little info about each type of self, all right? Each of the components of self. Your basic self remains highly open to suggestions, programming, visualizations, or any form of healing that works with the subconscious. It identifies with the physical body and manifests as our body wisdom, that is instincts, intuition, gut feelings, latent drives and abilities, and memory. In charge of our body, the basic self works through involuntary or the autonomic nervous system to maintain our body's functions and generate our energy for life. Okay, if our basic self is secure and happy, the childlike basic self demonstrates playfulness, energy, loyalty, inspiration, determination, and spontaneity. But if our conscious mind ignores, devalues, or suppresses our inner child, then it tends to withdraw, block energy, it tends to have a low immune response and sabotage our endeavors. So by becoming more conscious of how our subconscious works, we can access energy, courage, and improve our health and sense of well-being. The basic self serves as a foundation from which we can leap to a higher state of awareness. Now, I want to expand on the basic self. As I'm reading this, I just remembered something. Recently, I was speaking to someone and I was asking them, are you happy? Are you feeling fulfilled? You just seem very demotivated about life. And their response was, I don't know, I'm just tired. And I'm like, tired? But then I guess Spirit directed me to a question to ask them. And I was like, think of your inner child. Sometimes if you're someone who's feeling tired of life and maybe feeling like you don't know where to go from here, like you're exhausted, you're confused, you feel deflated about life, about living, you need to go back, reflect upon your inner child and the things that gave you life as a child, the things that you get excited about, and that is how you find your way back. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. Okay, I did that a long time ago and I have never gone back to feeling deflated. There are days when I will admit, there are days when I'm like, oh, what am I doing that for? Especially when I have a goal and it's taking a long time to get accomplished. And then I don't stay there. I literally redirect my energy within moments of having that thought to focus on the journey, not the destination, you know? And this is a typical example. When your basic self is feeling a bit out of it, just go back to your inner child. Spend time with your inner child doing things you like to do. And it's literally your inner child, the things you enjoyed as a child. That's what works for me. If I feel out of it, I grab a coloring book. I decide to paint. I read, I dance, I sing, I play a game, you know. That's how you get back this. The children generally come into this world with no preconceived ideas of what things should be like. So they come, they're fearless, they jump from high locations. They express their feelings so freely. They let you know when they're sad, you know, they cry. They don't care if 1,000 people are looking at them. They will scream, they will cry, they will be whoever they are. And then gradually this freedom is taken away because adults and I'm not saying they come from a bad place, they don't do that, you're gonna fall. So now you're afraid to take risks. You used to jump so high, but now you can't anymore because you fell once and your mom was like, don't jump, like don't ever do that again. Not from a place of not caring, but I think that these things, if you're a parent, a new parent, or a parent of a child right now, you can probably apply that to your child. Let us learn from mistakes, because those things that children do are sometimes necessary to teach them and to allow them to graduate to even high levels of what they're doing, you know. A child who likes to jump might eventually decide, hey, I love jumping, I want to go into sports, into gymnastics, into something. It might develop into something more. So you don't want to induce fear or into a child, you know. And if you are in that space right now, just go back, reflect on your childhood, you know. What made you happy, the things that you wanted for yourself, the things that you enjoyed doing. Okay? The conscious self, which is the second self, or the second aspect of self, serves as the center of logic, reason, and discrimination. All necessary tools for life. So logic, reason, and discrimination. Its major function involves conscious learning so that we can better adapt to and thrive in our environment. Right? When working in harmony, our conscious self guides, educates, and reassures our basic self as a parent would a child, helping it to understand life while allowing the basic self to express its own unique capacities. So when your conscious self is out of balance, it tends to use logic and reason to devalue the feelings and intuition of the basic self. This results in an estrangement between mind and body. We lose touch with our basic selves, or our inner child. So this is pretty much what I just explained. You know, when you feel like, why am I here? What am I doing? You know, that is an indication of, for my own, I make up words sometimes, out of touchness. Okay, with your inner self, your inner child. Okay, we need to heal this imbalance. Our conscious self can learn to reestablish rapport with our basic self, which is what I just said. You know, reflect on your inner child. Feed your inner child, you know, which leads to a renewed sense of vitality, pleasure, and health. This is it, guys. What I just said, this is it in a nutshell. And lastly, the higher self. The higher self is the radiant aspect of our consciousness, sometimes referred to as our guardian angel, completes the trinity of the three selves. The higher self-awareness manifests qualities of selfless, courage, love, compassion, wisdom, altruism, and joy. It serves as a cheerleader to the soul, reminding the conscious self of the spiritual possibilities beyond the material world and the limits of the conscious mind. The higher self has deep empathy for the conscious self and basic self, but exists in a state of detachment. It gently guides without interfering. And when I think of what I'm just saying to you now, I think of me in my house. Like, sometimes I am making decisions from, I guess, my basic self, or maybe even my conscious self, making decisions, and then I hear that voice in my head, which is what I believe my higher self, the higher self is, like your intuition or your guardian angel, however you call the voice. And it plays a little bit of like a devil's advocate thing, where it suddenly comes with another possibility, and then you're like, nah, I probably shouldn't do that. Now's not the right time, I'll do it another time. So we have everything we need. And sometimes what happens is, if we are in too much alignment with the physical self, or too concerned with the physical self, we get out of tune. We're no longer attuned to our higher self, so we don't hear the guidance. It becomes a faint voice, or we ignore it so much we just don't pay attention to it anymore. It's always there, but we just are not tuned into it anymore. Okay, so Dan Millman teaches us the necessity for a balance, and for feeding each versions of ourselves, or each aspect of our being. All right, and he does that so beautifully in a story. I can't remember if it was swimming or because I was in 2016. It was either swimming or martial arts that because the book is about Dan himself, his journey, and he met Socrates, and that this Socrates was basically teaching him, but without teaching him in a very not mysterious, indirect way. So he would kind of lead him or direct him to places without giving him all the information. So he's directing you, but you have to discover the rest for yourself, and it's a beautiful story. It's just, you don't even realize that. I mean, it does speak about the three aspects of self, but it's so beautifully written that you just receive it so naturally without it being so definitive. And then you can now reassess once you've gotten to a certain part of the book. You now understand what you're learning. You're like, wow, and you can relate it to yourself. Everybody can relate this book to themselves. So I would like to encourage you to get that. I will put the link in the description, so you can definitely check it out. I always put like the cheapest links. And my friend Percival got a book. She got the Vortex, and she said she's really enjoying it so far. So I was very happy to hear that, and that is really my reason. I just want all of us to heal. We all have things we have to heal from, or maybe understand better. And this not necessarily heal, but understand and just grow from them. Because I don't think that anything that we're experiencing here is meant to hurt us. It's just meant to help us to expand and learn of ourselves and each other, to coexist in a beautiful space of love for each other. All right, so the book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman, I'm going to put it in the description of the video, the link, so that you can get it if you would like to. My name is Finesse, and this has been Worthy Reads. Have you guys noticed I always wear glasses for Worthy Reads? So if you're ever looking for my Worthy Reads, I don't know why I associate glasses with reading. So just look for the video with the glasses. Oh no, wait, maybe not, because sometimes I use it for random advice too. Yeah. So yes, so I enjoy these videos because it's my way of leaving a positive mark, or a piece of me with you guys, because we're not, as much as we can live however long we want to, we're not forever physically, we are forever spiritually. So I'm just trying to help us establish the balance so that we feel fulfilled in every way during our time with you, right? Enjoy the rest of your, what day is it? Your Tuesday, right? This has been Worthy Reads with me, Finesse. Like, subscribe, and share if you feel like. But always a pleasure.